what's up? It's Richie here with Statifying Football. This is week 14 of the college football season. Bunch of noon games, so let's jump in. Ohio State and Michigan State. Ohio State, they haven't played in a couple of weeks. Their last game, they beat Indiana 42-35. Justin Fields, 300 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, but he did throw 3 interceptions. He lost the Heisman with that game. Plus 78 rushing yards and a touchdown. Major Teague ran for 169 and 2 touchdowns. Garrett Wilson, 7 catches, 169, 2 touchdowns. Chris Olave, 8 catches, 101, 607 yards, but they turned it over 3 times. They had 4 turnovers, though, defensively, and had a pick 6. Michigan State, they got their first win of the season, beating a ranked Northwestern team 29-20. Rocky Lombardi, he was kind of all over the place. 11-27, 167, 2 touchdowns, and a pick, plus 65 rushing. Defensively, they forced 4 sacks, 4 turnovers, and a fumble return at the end to make the margin the 9-point margin. I think Ohio State destroys Michigan State in this game. A&M and Auburn, this will be kind of a big game. Texas A&M, they had a sloppy 20-7 win against LSU. Kellen Mond was terrible, 11-34 for 105 yards. Isaiah Spiller was pretty much all they had offensively, 141 rushing yards and a touchdown. They had as many yards as LSU did. Both had 267. However, they were able to force 3 turnovers and had a pick 6. Auburn, they got destroyed by Alabama 42-13. Knicks 227 and 2 interceptions in that. That being said, I think big upset here. I think Auburn is the one that takes down A&M. Texas, Kansas State. Texas lost a close game to Iowa State 23-20. Sam Ehlinger, 298 passing and a touchdown, plus 65 rushing and a touchdown. Brennan Eagles, 5 catches, 142. Kansas State lost on a heartbreaker, last-second field goal to Baylor, 32-31. Will Howard, 88 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, plus 41 rushing yards and a touchdown. Deuce Vaughn ran for 102 and a touchdown and caught one. They had 2 turnovers in the game. Defensively, they did have 7 sacks. If they want to beat Texas, they're going to have to do that. I don't see that happening. I think Texas is going to be one that bounces back and wins this game. Western Carolina and North Carolina. North Carolina, they were tied at 17 at halftime with Notre Dame and couldn't get much going. Howell passed for 211, ran for 1, passed for a touchdown. I think North Carolina won't have any trouble with Western Carolina. This will be done by the first quarter. Rice and Marshall. Rice, last game they played, they lost to North Texas. Pretty close game, 27-17. Mike Collins, 327 passing, 2 touchdowns. Austin Trammell, 6 catches, 116 and a touchdown. They were only outgained by 13 yards, but they had 2 turnovers, which ended up they did them in. Marshall, a few weeks ago, they beat Middle Tennessee State 42-14. Grant Wells had 336 passing yards and 5 touchdown passes. Willie Johnson, 8 catches, 137 yards, and 2 touchdowns. They had 520 yards. They forced 3 turnovers. This could be a bit of a shootout. Rice has a somewhat potent offense, but I think Marshall would be a little too much for them with Brandon Knox on the ground and Wells through the air. I got Marshall on that one. Oklahoma State and TCU, possible upset here. Oklahoma State, they beat Texas Tech in an awesome shootout, 50-44. Spencer Sanders, 222 passing, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, plus 78 rushing yards and a touchdown. Desmond Jackson filled in for Chuba Hubbard, and L.D. Brown ran for 235 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns. Tylan Wallace, 7 catches, 129 and a touchdown. They had 543 total yards. They turned over 3 times, though. Defensively, they gave up 639 yards, but they forced 2 turnovers and had a pick 6. They had an onside kick return and a safety, which aided in their win. Whereas TCU, they destroyed Kansas 59-23. Max Duggan, the quarterback, had a weird game. He was only 3 for 11, but all 3 went for touchdown passes. And he ran for 61 more yards and a touchdown there too. Zach Evans ran for 100 yards. They ran for 337 on the ground. Defensively, they had 4 sacks, 2 turnovers, a punt return touchdown, an interception return touchdown, and a fumble return touchdown. They got that hat trick there. Like I said, this could be close, but I'll get Oklahoma State in the end. I think this will be Oklahoma State's picked by 2.5, so even the odds makers think it'll be close. I do have Oklahoma State winning though. All right, Kansas and Texas Tech. Kansas lost to TCU 59-23. Jalen Daniels was in 4 of 13, 57 yards and a touchdown. He was replaced by Miles Kendrick. Passed for 166, 2 touchdowns and 1 pick. Amari Hickson ran for 100 yards. Kwame Lassiter the second had 7 catches for 116 yards and a touchdown. They only had 268 total yards in that demolishment. Whereas Texas Tech, they lost in an awesome game against Oklahoma State, though, 50-44. Alan Bowman passed for 384, 3 touchdowns and a pick. SaRodorick Thompson ran for 133 and 2 touchdowns. Eric Ezukanma had 7 catches, 183 yards, and 2 touchdowns. They had 639 yards, and they forced 3 turnovers. I don't think this would be close. I think they destroyed Kansas. Arkansas and Missouri. Ark lost their last game a couple of weeks ago to LSU, 27-24. Felipe Franks, 339 passing, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, plus 43 rushing yards and a touchdown. Mike Woods, 4 catches, 140 yards. Missouri, they destroyed Vanderbilt 41-0. Basilik threw for 318. Roundtree ran for 160 and 3 touchdowns. Beatty had 7 catches for 102. They had 603 total yards. Defensively, they had 5 sacks and held Vanderbilt to only 185 total yards and that shutout. This could be a little bit close for a while, but I got Arkansas coming out with the win in the end. All right, Memphis and Tulane. Memphis had a nail-biting victory against Navy. Only won 10-7. Brady White, 205 passing and a touchdown. They forced 2 turnovers, which kind of is what helped them win. Tulane, they lost a few weeks ago to Tulsa in overtime, 30-24. Pratt, 8 of 17, 76 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Stephen Hutterson, 106 rushing and a touchdown. Defensively, they had 4 sacks and 3 turnovers, even though they lost. I think this will be pretty close again, but I think Memphis, they struggled on offense last week. I think they get it going just enough to win there. All right, FIU in Charlotte, unless I got canceled or moved. Let's see here. Alright, so I guess that one got moved. Alright, Toledo and Northern Illinois. Toledo, they lost in a close game to Ball State, 27-24. They were down 24-3 and almost came all the way back to win. Eli Peters passed for 363, 2 touchdowns and a pick. He got hurt. Then Carter Bradley came in, passed for 44 yards and a touchdown. Isaiah Winstead, 6 catches, 113 and a touchdown. They had 2 turnovers, and that's kind of what lost them the game. Northern Illinois, they lost a close game to Western Michigan, 30-27. Ross Bowers, 230 passing, 3 touchdowns. Tyrese Ritchie, 12 catches, 131 yards, and a touchdown. NIU, they played a really good Western Michigan team close. Toledo, though, I think if Eli Peters can get in, I think they bounce back and get a win. All right, Nebraska-Purdue. Nebraska, they lost a close game to Iowa, 26-20. Adrian Martinez, 18 of 20 for 174, plus 1 rushing. They turned it over twice in that game. There, Purdue, they lost to Rutgers 37-30. Jack Plummer, 237 passing, 2 touchdowns and a pick, plus 1 rushing. Xander Horvath ran for 101 yards and 2 touchdowns. They turned it over once and they allowed a kick return touchdown. They got a safety though. I think that Purdue will be the one that bounces back to get the win. All right, Bowling Green and Akron. This is a pillow fight, maybe the 2 worst teams in the nation. Bowling Green, they lost their last game to Ohio 52-10. Matt McDonald was bad, 9 of 20 for 125, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. The only thing they had going for them was Andrew Clare running for 118 yards. Akron got destroyed by Miami of Ohio 38-7. Gibson passed for 141 and touchdown and pick. They had 145 total yards. I don't really know who's going to win this one. It could be a 3-0 game for all I know. I'll give Akron the slight benefit of the doubt. Tion Dollar seems to be a pretty good running back for them. We'll go Akron. All right, Eastern Michigan and Western Michigan. Eastern Michigan, they lost a close game to Central Michigan, 31-23. They were up 20-6 in the 4th quarter and let them come back. Preston Hutchinson, 365 passing, but hit 3 interceptions. He did run for 57 yards and had 2 rushing touchdowns. Hassan Beydoun, 8 catches, 100 yards. They had 439 total yards, but they turned over 5 times, which is what lost them that lead. Whereas Western Michigan they won a close game against Northern Illinois, 30-27. Caleb Ellaby passed for 210, touchdown, ran for 1. Dwayne Eskridge, 7 catches, 134 yards, and had a kick return for a touchdown. Defensively, they had 5 sacks, which helped them win in that game. Eastern Michigan is plucky. They're tough. They keep close in games, but I still don't think they'll have enough to beat Western Michigan. Troy and South Alabama. Troy Trojans, they got destroyed by Appalachian State 47-10. Gunnar Watson, 125 passing, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Whereas South Alabama, they actually beat a really fun game against Arkansas State. They beat them 38-31. Trotter passed for 242, 2 touchdowns, plus ran for 1. I think he got hurt. Then Tanner McGee came in, 6 of 8, 145 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jalen Tolbert, 10 catches, 252 yards and 3 touchdowns there. This could be a bit of a shootout. Both teams like to pass it around a lot, but I got South Alabama coming out with the win there. All right, Syracuse and Notre Dame. Syracuse had a close loss to North Carolina State. If their quarterback wasn't an idiot, they may have won. They lost 36-29. Culpepper had a 3rd and goal at the 7. He ran around like a moron and lost 12 yards on a sack. And with 3 seconds left, with 4th and goal, he forgot it was 4th down, so he spiked it with turnover on down. So they lost. He did pass for 254 and 2 touchdowns. Todd Harris, 13 catches, 146, and a touchdown. Defensively, he had 6 sacks, 2 turnovers, a safety, and returned a kick for a touchdown. But they're playing Notre Dame. Notre Dame beat a really good North Carolina team, 31-17. Ian Book, 279 passing, 1 touchdown. There, Kyron Williams ran for 124 and 2 touchdowns. Javon McKinley, 6 catches, 135. Defensively, had 6 sacks and held an awesome North Carolina offense to only 298 yards. I think this might be a bit of a blowout. Maybe close for the first half a little, but I think Notre Dame should get the win. All right, Louisiana Monroe and Arkansas State. Louisiana Monroe got destroyed by their rival Louisiana Lafayette, 70-20. Jeremy Hunt, 14 of 32, 121, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, plus 1 rushing. They only had 247 total yards, turnover 3 times. Whereas Arkansas State lost a shootout against South Alabama, 38-31. Logan Bonner passed for 183 and 4 touchdowns. Lane Hatcher passed for 141. Jonathan Adams caught all his passes for 9 catches, 138 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And Jeff Foreman had 5 catches for 111. Louisiana Monroe is one of the worst teams in the country. Arkansas State, they're only 3-7, but they have a high-powered offense. Arkansas State, I think, rolls over Louisiana Monroe. All right, Penn State and Rutgers. Penn State got their first win of the season against Michigan, 27-17. Sean Clifford, 163 passing, plus 73 rushing and a touchdown. Kevon Lee, 134 rushing and a touchdown. Rutgers, they beat Purdue 37-30. Sikowski, 152 passing and 2 touchdowns. Jonathan Langen came in, 84 passing yards and a touchdown, plus added 95 rushing yards. They had a kick return in that game to help that win. I think this could be a bit closer. Rutgers is showing they're tougher than they have been in the past. Penn State sucks. That being said, I think Penn State still wins this game. All right, then an awesome game. One game I'm absolutely looking forward to. It's off the radar because it's 2 small schools. Liberty, who was undefeated, they only have 1 loss by 1 point to a 7-3 North Carolina State ACC team. And then Coastal Carolina, they're in the Sun Belt. Liberty is independent. Coastal Carolina is undefeated in the Sun Belt. They're ranked, I think, 14th right now. This could be an awesome game. Really, probably pretty high scoring. Liberty did destroy UMass 45-0. Malik Willis passed for 223, 3 touchdowns, plus ran for 63 yards and a touchdown. Peyton Pickett ran for 125 and a touchdown. Joshua Mack ran for 109 and a touchdown. They had 629 total yards in that game. Whereas Coastal Carolina, they beat Texas State silly 49-14. Grayson McCall, 154 passing, 2 touchdowns. CJ Marable ran for 157 yards and 3 touchdowns. They ran for 406 yards, had 572 total yards. This is going to be awesome. I think Liberty gets this upset. I think Coastal Carolina's undefeated season comes to an end. And those are my noon games. Check out my other ones for my midday games. I'm at primetime games. Peace.